Welcome to Inspirations, the show that brings you inspiring people working in Nepal. I'm Mike Rosenkrantz of DSO, and today we have another special guest. We have Lex Kassenberg, the Country Director of CARE Nepal. Welcome, Lex.
Hi, Mike. Welcome to the CARE office.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. So let's start off with you telling me a little bit about your background, your childhood, your education, that kind of thing.
I'm a citizen from the Netherlands. I was born in 1956, about 25 kilometers west of Amsterdam, in a tiny little place, very close to the sea, but in a very beautiful green area. That's really where I grew up. Went there to elementary school, to high school, and then later I went to the university in Wageningen, what a lot of people may know for the agricultural university, where I studied land and water management.
Oh, very good. And you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, my parents are actually still both alive in the Netherlands, and I'm the eldest one of four sons, four boys actually.
Wow.
So I'm the eldest one, and my three brothers are still in the Netherlands.
They are, so they're not doing development?
They have not been as entrepreneurial or adventurous as I am.
And so when did you first come to Nepal?
I started off professionally in Nepal, had 2 years in the Philippines for the UN, then came back to Nepal again, moved to Brussels, where CARE had at the time its international secretariat. From there I moved to Kenya. We were based in Nairobi with the family, but my work was in Somalia. And from there to Afghanistan and back to Nepal. So this is my third time in Nepal actually.
That's amazing. And you're actually married to a Nepali.
I am. In 1983, when I was doing a short consultancy for World Bank, I met my future wife, and we got married in 1985, so a long time ago.
And tell us something about CARE Nepal and the work that you're doing here, some of the impacts that you've made.
CARE is one of the bigger international NGOs, and CARE's objective is to fight poverty by working specifically with girls and women, and through projects that provide lasting change to communities. So we also work under that principle, and over the years, CARE has actually quite evolved. In the early 80s, for example, CARE was more involved in direct implementation of suspension and suspended bridges, where they built up quite, I think, a good name in Nepal. Then they started a big project with the Agricultural Development Bank, looking at agriculture, irrigation schemes, forestry, and watershed management projects near Pokhara, the Beknestaal-Rupertaal area. Now it's more different. We now focus much more on women empowerment, gender equity and diversity. We have health projects. We look at natural resources, environment, climate change, adaptation.
How big is your staff? And you have staff in remote areas and other districts? That kind of thing?
But the total staff for CARE is about 200 at the moment. We have about 50 in Kathmandu, and all the rest, roughly 150, are spread out over the various districts. CARE in total works in about 44 districts at the moment, out of the 75, so that's quite a coverage. With a concentration of the projects really in the far west, Dangadi, and then up north from there. But we also have a small office in Nepalganj and an office in Pokhara, in Bharatpur and Janakpur, and then Kathmandu, and Dangkuta in the east.
How does CARE Nepal deal with when issues do come up? What kinds of things do you do?
Well, it depends what the issue is about. If there are internal issues about program quality or the way how we implement projects, then we try to deal with it through internal discussions, looking at the manuals and the procedures that we have for the organization. But if it comes to broader issues like possibly dealing with the government, visas for international staff, for example, we also have this the AIN, Association for International NGOs in Nepal, And CARE is a member of that, and I happen to be the vice chair at the moment of AIN. So that is a good forum to bring up general issues that we want to, that the international NGOs share and that we want to bring up with the government to encourage better cooperation and collaboration.
Some moments last a lifetime. Classic Diamond Jewelers.
कुपन जसरी स्क्रैच गरे पनि नागरिकका हरेक वार्षिक ग्राहकलाई हजारौंको नगद पुरस्कार पर्ने पक्का पक्की छ।
टिभी हेरेर बुझ्नुस् वा रेडियो सुनेर बुझ्नुस्, हामीलाई फोन गरेर बुझ्नुस्, पत्रिकामा पढेर बुझ्नुस्, नागरिकमा नगद पुरस्कार पक्का पक्की छ।
अनि पुरस्कार नपरेमा 10 वर्षसम्म निशुल्क नागरिक दैनिक। थप जानकारीका लागि फोन नम्बर 426 8656।
King's Wimpy Burger, Zaulakhel, Lalitpur. Phone number 0155211744.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the programs of CARE Nepal?
Sure. As I mentioned, we do a lot of work in women empowerment and gender equity and diversity. But one of the big programs that we implement is also related to HIV/AIDS. Specifically in the far west of the country, and we provide information to the people who go from the far west mostly to India. And an interesting activity that we employed there is they made an agreement with the local rickshaw union that everyone who is coming from India to Nepal, they make a compulsory stop at an information booth where they get information about HIV/AIDS. And when they go from Nepal to India, same thing. And the rickshaw drivers, obviously stopping is not money-wise not a benefit for them, but they understand the importance of giving this information. And they make that stop and kind of force the people to spend some time and get the information on HIV/AIDS. And the other part of the health projects that we're implementing is actually mother and child health care. So working with the health posts and building birthing centers, or improving the equipment and the infrastructure that we have in the field. So that's another important area where I think we contribute to a positive start in the life of the newborns in that part of the country.
Who in your life has been an inspiration, and are there particular organizations that have inspired you as well?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been many years with CARE, so CARE obviously is an organization that inspired me, and I'm still inspired by the way how CARE is moving things forward and the internal debate that's going on. But if I look at a particular individual, I think I have to go back to my time in Somalia, where in Somaliland I met a lady called Edna Adan, who was the former wife of first the Prime Minister of Somalia, and later he became the President of Somaliland, Mohammed Igal. And she was building a maternity hospital at the time that I was working there. And she built it on the former execution ground of Siad Barre. So she always explained that the place that used to be the place of death now was becoming the place of birth. And she was incredibly dedicated to that. She spent a lot of her own resources on it, sold a lot of her private belongings, jewelry. She was living very low-key, very humble individual. But she had fascinating stories, and the way how she was dedicated to the cause of running the maternity hospital was amazing. And during the time that I was there, she also for a short time was the foreign minister for Somaliland. So it was quite interesting. And she invited me a few times also to her private quarters, showing the photos that she had where she was with her husband in the 60s, for example. In America, meeting with Lady Bird and Lyndon Johnson.
Oh my God.
So she was very well traveled, and really interesting talking to her.
What are some of the of your momentous moments in your life? What are some of the things that you really remember?
One was actually in Nepal. I think it was in 1986 or 87 when I was trekking in Langtang, and in the middle of the night, suddenly everyone got up and standing